Hello, my name is Michael Darragh McCauley. I'm an ambassador for the Irish Lung Fibrosis Association. I'm a Gaelic footballer with Dublin and Ballybowden, and I'm also a qualified yoga instructor. So there are many benefits to practicing yoga, particularly for those living with IPF. Some of those benefits have shown to be increased respiratory function, increased flexibility, and also the relief of tension and anxiety. So yoga is made up of physical poses as well as breathing and meditation techniques. Over the course of this video, we'll be going through 2 different levels so you can progress at your own pace. Before commencing with these exercises, make sure you refer to the Borg scale so you don't overexert yourself. Irene will now take you through the Borg scale.
You should expect to get breathless when you're exercising. Everybody gets breathless, even the very best athletes. If you're on oxygen, turn up your oxygen to whatever the medical team advised for when you're exercising. This will allow your body to cope with your activity and therefore enable you to exercise very comfortably. Knowing how breathless you should be when you exercise will give you the confidence to be active. There's a scale called the Borg scale that allows you to gauge how breathless you should be while you're exercising. This scale goes from 0 to 10. 0 means not being breathless at all, and 10 means being extremely breathless. 3 is a level of breathlessness at which you should be aiming for when you're exercising. When you are active and exercising, you should be aiming to keep your breathing at a level of 3. This level could be described as being able to speak, but not gasping. It may take some time and practice to familiarise yourself with this scale. Remember, every day is different. Some days you are less breathless than others. The scale enables you to vary your level of exercise depending on how you feel.
So we're now going to go through a selection of breathing exercises. This is going to help us slow our heart rate, take control of our breathing, and just generally de-stress, something I think we could all do with from time to time. Okay, so next we're going to come into what's known as a box breathing exercise. So this is really good for regulating the nervous system and bringing a sense of calm to the body, particularly in times of stress and anxiety. So it's called a box breathing exercise because we're going to inhale for 3 seconds, we're going to hold for 3 seconds, we're going to exhale for 3 seconds, and we're going to hold for 3 seconds. Okay, so just find a nice comfortable position, nice straight spine. We're going to inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So, and for this it might be easier to close your eyes. And open your eyes and just come back to normal breathing. Okay, so for this breathing exercise, it's called Nadi Shandana, or else alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so for this we're going to take our right hand, our left hand is going to sit comfortably on our left leg, and we're going to use our thumb and our ring finger. So we're going to place our thumb against our right nostril, and we're going to inhale through the left nostril. We're going to hold, and then we're going to release through the right nostril. Then we're going to inhale through the right nostril, hold, and exhale through the left nostril. So we'll practice doing a couple of rounds of this. So using the thumb and ring finger, place the thumb against the right nostril. and come back to normal breathing. Okay, now let's get started with level 1. Remember to take your time, ease your way into it, and enjoy yourself. So we're going to start by finding a nice comfortable position. So we're going to place our feet firmly on the ground, shoulder width distance apart. We're going to roll our shoulders up and back, giving ourselves a nice straight spine, as if somebody's nearly pulling us by the hair. Okay, from here, we're going to bring some movement into the shoulders, and we're going to roll the shoulders forwards and upwards on the inhale, and then backwards and downwards on the exhale. So we're going to do a couple of rounds of this to get started. So on the inhale, and the exhale. And then we're going to do the same in the opposite direction. So if you've been sitting in an office all day or driving in a car too much, very easy for your shoulders to get very tight and stiff. And come back to a nice, comfortable seated position. So next, we're just going to stretch our neck. So we're going to inhale and we're going to gaze towards the sky, and we're going to exhale and we're gaze towards the ground. So on the inhale, look up, and the exhale, and exhale. One more time. And exhale. Okay, and next we're going to take our right hand and we're going to bring it over to the left hand side of our head, staying nice and strong and straight in the chair. And we're going to pull the head just gently as far as it's comfortable for you, getting a stretch down the left hand side of the neck. And release, and come over on the left hand side, over to the right hand side of the head, and just pull just to wherever it's comfortable, so you get that slight stretch down the right hand side of the neck. And release. Okay, so next we're going to reach the arms out in front, and we're just going to do some wrist rolls. So I'm going to roll them in towards each other. And back the opposite direction. And we're going to drop the right hand. We're going to take the left hand. We're going to bring it across the body. I'm going to use the right hand to hook the left hand at the elbow and pull it in towards you. So this is just getting a nice stretch just on that left shoulder joint when you keep that left hand nice and straight. And release. And we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So hands out, we're going to drop the left hand, the right hand comes across the body, the left hand hooks at the elbow and pulls towards us. So keeping that right hand nice and straight, getting a good stretch into that shoulder joint. And release, and come back to a seated position. Okay, so from here we're going to bring some movement into the spine. So we're going to come into what's known as a cat-cow. So we're going to place our hands on top of our knees, And firstly, we're going to inhale, and we're going to arch the spine, and we're going to gaze towards the roof. And on the exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, and we're going to bring our gaze to our own belly button. Okay, so hands on the knees, inhale, and exhale. So just move with your own breath here as far as it's comfortable. And come back to seated. So next we're going to bring our hands over our head, and we're going to internally and externally rotate our shoulders. So you're going to lift the hands up. So face the palms towards the body, and then facing the palms away from the body. And from here we're going to take our right hand, and we're going to reach it down as if we're trying to scratch our back. Our left hand is going to come over and place it on the elbow. It's just going to help you move that right hand down the back just a little bit further. So we're going to stretch into the left, into your right tricep here, and reaching the chest forward and using that left hand just to inch that right hand down a little bit further, just as far as is comfortable. And release. And we're the same on the opposite side. So bring the hands up overhead. The left hand is going to come down to try and scratch your back. Right hand is going to come down and just to help it on the elbow. Still reaching the chest forward. Going to stretch into the left tricep. And release. And come back to center. Okay, so now we're going to bring some movement into the lower body. So we're just going to come to the edge of the chair. The left leg stays as it is. Right leg is out in front. And we're just going to come to just do some ankle rolls. Maybe clockwise to start. And back the opposite direction. And release the foot to the ground. And then come to the edge of the seat. We're just going to reach that right foot out in front of us. So we're going to point the right toes towards you. We're going to bring our two hands down to that right foot. And we're just going to lean forward just as far as is comfortable, just till you get that stretch on that hamstring. So when we reach forward, just to get that stretch on the hamstring, some people are going to come as far as the thigh or the knee. Some people might be able to come as far as the calf, and some people might even be able to grab their own toes. So as far as is comfortable for you today, as long as you're getting some sort of stretch down that hamstring and into the calf muscle. And release. I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. And we're going to reach the left foot out in front, and we're just going to do some ankle rolls, maybe anti-clockwise to start. And back the opposite direction. And then we're going to come to the edge of the seat. We're going to release our left foot down, our right foot stays as it is. And we're going to point those toes back towards us. So again, so our hands come to wherever is comfortable. So we're going to reach forward, and it might be as far as our thighs, it might be as far as our knee, our calf, or even our toes. Just so we can get that stretch as far as you want to go onto that hamstring on the left hand side. So don't be worried if you're a lot more flexible on one side than the other side. That's very normal. Most people will have one side that they use more often, and then it's generally probably a bit stiffer than the opposite side. And come back to center, and come back to seated. So we'll now go through these exercises as a class with the help of Matt, Evelyn and Pamela. Okay, so to start, we're just going to find a nice comfortable position on the chair. So we're going to place our feet at a shoulder width distance apart, and we're going to roll our shoulders up and back. So we're going to try and find that nice long spine all the way from the base of our back all the way up, as if somebody's nearly pulling us by the hair. So this is the position that we're going to come to in between each exercise, okay? So to begin with, we're going to roll our shoulders forwards and upwards on the inhale, and backwards and downwards on the exhale. So we're just going to move with our own breath here. So on the inhale, inhale up, and exhale back and down. So inhale, forward and up, and exhale backwards and down. So just maybe 2 or 3 more rounds. Going with your own breath. Inhale up, and exhale down. Maybe 1 more round. Inhale up, and exhale back. I'm just going to go back the opposite direction here. So we're going to inhale backwards and exhale the shoulders forward. So inhale on the back, exhale the shoulders forward. Twice more. And last time. And roll the shoulders forward. Perfect. So we're just again, find that nice comfortable seated position, the long spine. So on the inhale, we're going to gaze towards the roof, and on the exhale, we're going to gaze towards the ground. So we're just going to inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So just move with your own breath now. Inhale up and exhale down. Maybe 1 more inhale, 1 more exhale. Keeping that nice straight spine. Perfect. Okay, so next we're going to bring some movement into our neck. So keeping that nice long spine, we're going to take our right hand out and we're going to bring it all the way over to the left hand side of our head. And we're just going to pull it ever so slightly and lean it towards that right shoulder. Just so we're getting that stretch down on the left hand side of your neck. So keep breathing as you do the exercise, in and out through the nose. Perfect, really good. And release. And we're going to do the same on the opposite side, left hand out, bring it over, opposite side of the head, and pull the neck towards you as far as is comfortable, just so you're getting that muscle released on the right hand side of your neck. That left ear towards that left shoulder. And release. And back to sitting. Perfect. So next we're going to come into what's called a cat-cow. This is a modified version on the chair. So we're going to come with our hands just resting gently on our knees. And on the inhale, we're going to pull from our knees and we're going to pull the spine through, getting that nice arch into the back and gaze towards the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone in, let the shoulders slouch down and then gaze towards our belly button. So we'll try that again. On the inhale, pull from the knees, pull that spine through, get the curve into the back. And on the exhale, tuck the tailbone and curve down. Just getting a bit of movement into the spine here. So inhale, pull that spine through, get that nice S shape into the back. And exhale, tuck the tailbone, shoulders down. Really good. 1 more. Inhale, pull with the hands through. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, slouch down, and come back to neutral. Perfect. Okay, so next we're just going to reach our arms out in front of us and we're just going to maybe start internally rotating our wrists. So don't mind a few clicks and cracks, that's all part of it. And we'll go the opposite direction. And we're going to drop the right hand and we're going to bring the left hand across the body. And And we're going to get a right hand, keeping that left hand straight, we're going to get the right hand and just tuck it at the elbow and just pull it in towards you. So you should be able to just get that stretch onto the shoulder. Perfect. And just keep breathing here. One more breath in and out. And release. And come back to center. So bring the hands out again. And you're going to drop the left hand. There you go. And bring the right hand across the body. And you're going to tuck that left arm underneath it. And keeping that arm nice and straight, pull it towards you. Just so you should be getting that stretch in across that shoulder joint. Just again, as far as it's comfortable for you. Another inhale. And exhale. And release. Okay, so next we're going to come in to some shoulder mobility. So we're going to reach the hands up overhead. And we're just going to start by internally rotating the hands so that they're facing behind us. And then externally rotating the hands, they're facing away from us. So we're just going to do that a couple of times. Feel the movement in their shoulders. Internally and externally rotating. Once or twice more. And from here we're going to take our right hand and we're going to drop it down as if you're trying to scratch your back. And we're going to take our left hand over and place it on the elbow. And this can be used to leverage, maybe just so you can inch down a little bit further. So we're going to get that stretch into that left tricep and down into that right tricep and into that right side body. So keep breathing as we do this. Inhale, exhale. Once more. And release. And we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So bring the hands up overhead. This time we're going to take our left hand and we're going to try and scratch our back. And the right hand comes over behind the head, and maybe you can come on top of that elbow and just help us get a bit of leverage, just to get a bit more of a stretch on the tricep and side body. So don't forget to keep breathing. And release. And come back to center. Okay, so now we're going to move into the lower body. So we're actually just going to come towards the edge of our chair. Keep the left leg as it is, and we're going to reach the right foot out in front. And we're just going to lift it off the ground, and we're just going to do a couple of ankle circles. Just get the blood flowing down there. So clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever works. And we're going to go back the opposite direction. Perfect. And place the foot down. We're going to go the same on the opposite side. And back the opposite direction. Perfect. Okay, so for this next exercise, we're going to take a strap. So we have a strap here. So this can be a tie, a belt, a scarf, anything really that you have lying around the house. Okay, so we're going to come to the edge of our mat, edge of our seat here. Left foot stays as it is, and we're going to place the strap around the middle of that right foot. And once we have that, we're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're going to kick out in front of us. So again, as far as it's comfortable for you, but you should be getting a very deep stretch into that hamstring. Yeah, perfect. Keep breathing. Point those toes towards you. One more inhale. One more exhale. And release. And I'm going to to swap over. I'm going to put the strap around the middle of the left foot. Same thing, back sitting tall in the chair. When we're comfortable, just kick out in front of us. Try and get that left leg as straight as possible. Again, getting the stretch into the calf muscle, deep into that hamstring. One more inhale, one more exhale, and release. So next we're going to go into that hamstring exercise, and this is that we're going to do without a strap, okay? So again, we're going to come to the edge of our seat. Okay, so left leg stays as it is, right leg kicks out in front, and we're going to drop it to the ground this time, and we're going to point our toes pointing back towards us, and we're going to bring our hands down onto our thighs, and we're just going to lean forward just to as far as is comfortable until you get that stretch. So some people can come as far as their thigh, their knee, their calf. Some people might be grabbing their toes. So wherever's comfortable for you today, as long as you can try and get that stretch onto the hamstring. Perfect, really good. And maybe take an inhale, and the exhale, let's try and go a little bit further, just a half an inch. And one more round of breath. And release. Come back to center, and we're going to swap it over and do the same on the opposite side. So left foot out in front, toes pointing towards you. Same thing, try and keep that leg as straight as possible, and lean down as far as is possible for you without going too far. So it could be as far as your knee, your quad, your calf, or possibly your toes. Take a big inhale and exhale. Let's try and reach it a little bit further. And release. Come back up to seated and back to center. Perfect. Okay, so the next exercise, we're going to take our left foot up and we're going to bring it on top of our right knee as if we're sitting down watching the telly on a Friday night, okay? So stand up nice and tall, and the exercise, we're not going to hunch down, we're going to lean forward, keeping that straight spine. We're just going to try and lean forward, trying to get that stretch into the left hip, into the left glute muscle. So as far as is comfortable for you again, hands can maybe rest on the shin. So this is known as seated pigeon in yoga. One more inhale, big deep exhale, a small bit further. And inhale. Back to straight spine. So here we're going to take our right hand and we're going to place it on that left knee. We're going to take our left hand, we're going to place it on our chair at the base of our spine. So we're going to take an inhale and we're going to come up, and an exhale, and we're going to turn and we're going to look over that left shoulder. So bringing that twist into the spine, looking over the left shoulder, really good. Maybe one more big inhale, let's come up a little bit higher, and exhale, let's look a little bit further over that shoulder. Let's hold there for one more breath, inhale, and exhale, and come back to center. Perfect, really good. I'm going to swap it over, and do the same on the opposite side. This time, like the opposite foot. So, I notice with this exercise, you'll always have one side a lot stiffer than the other side. So whatever works for yourself. Okay, so same thing, with a nice straight spine. Let's try and lean forward as far as is comfortable for you. This might be more than enough just to come as far as here. If you can or want to lean forward, do. So I can feel a deep stretch into that right glute muscle. One more breath, release. Same thing, opposite hand, left hand on top of that right knee, and the right hand comes down the back of the chair. And we're gonna inhale up and exhale, look over that right shoulder. So just as far as is comfortable for you today. So inhale up and exhale. One last time. Inhale up, exhale, and release. And come back to sitting. Okay, so now we're going to do what's known as box breathing, okay? So this is really good to kind of regulate the nervous system, really good in times of stress and anxiety, just to bring a sense of calm to the body, okay? So it's called box breathing because we're inhaling for 3 seconds, we're going to hold for 3 seconds, we're going to exhale for 3 seconds, and we're going to hold for 3 seconds, okay? So we'll talk you through it. So again, find that kind of comfortable position, that nice kind of straight spine, hands resting on our laps. And we're going to start, we're going to exhale everything that we have to start. And we're going to inhale through the nose for 3, 2, 3, and hold. 2, 3, and slowly release. 1, 2, 3, and hold. For 2, 3. Big inhale. 2, 3, and hold. 2, 3, and slowly release. 2, 3, and hold. 1, 2, 3. Just 2 more rounds. Big inhale. And hold. 2, 3, and release. Nice and slow and controlled. 2, 3, and hold at the bottom. 2, 3. Last round, biggest inhale yet. And hold. And release. 2, 3, and hold. 1, 2, 3. And just come back to regular breathing, in and out through the nose. So once you're comfortable with level 1, we're going to progress to level 2, which is slightly more advanced exercises. We'll now go through these together. Okay, so to begin, we're going to walk to the front of our mat. And we're going to bring our feet together, roll our shoulders up and back, palms facing forward, nice tall spine. So this is the position that we're going to come to in between a lot of our poses. It's called mountain pose. So we're going to start by taking 3 deep breaths. And exhale. Big inhale. And exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. And on this inhale, we're going to inhale. We're going to interlace our fingers at the top and release our index finger. So keeping our hands nice and straight, we're going to reach up out of our body and lean to the left hand side. And come back to center. So we're just going to come as far as is comfortable for you. And reach up and out to the opposite side. Reach back to center. Reach up, and we're going to do a small back bend. And release. And then we're going to release the hands and we're gonna let the upper body go limp, and we're gonna fall forward into a forward fold, and let the arms go loose, the neck go loose, and we'll just gaze towards our own knees. So we're gonna go side to side here, just get a bit of movement into our spine. And when we're ready, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, with our neck the last to lift. Big inhale, big exhale. And come back to standing position. So now we're going to go into Trikonasana pose. So we're going to take our right foot and take a big step backwards. Our left foot is going to point straight ahead, and our right foot is going to be at a 45-degree angle, pointing towards the corner of the room. Our left hand is going to come straight out in front, and our right arm directly behind. So our legs are going to stay nice and strong and straight here, no bend in the knees. And as if somebody's pulling us by the hand, we're going to lean forward, and then we're going to tilt the arms down. So the arm is going to fall down on the inside of the knee, the calf, or the foot. And the right hand is going to point directly into the sky. So we're at clock arms 6 and 12. And release. And we're going to step to the front. And next we're going to come into a wide-legged fold. So we're going to step backwards. Both of our toes pointing straight ahead. We're going to bring our arms out wide, like an airplane. And we're going to hinge from the hips and lean forward. Then we're going to lower our hands to the outside of our knees, our calves, our ankles. Or we can even use our peace fingers to make a yogi toe lock, as it's known. And we're going to look underneath our legs and get a big stretch into the back of the calves, back of the hamstrings. And bring the hands to the hips and come back to center. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. And we're going to hinge from the hips. And we're going to lean down. And this time we're going to bring the shoulders up off the lower of that body. And release. Hands to the hips. Back to center. Okay. And from here we're going to go back into Trikonasana on the opposite side. So we're going to point the right foot this time. The left foot is going to come to a 45-degree angle towards the corner of the room. The right hand comes straight out in front. The left hand comes behind. And as if somebody's pulling us by that hand, we're leaning forward. And we're going to tilt the arms down to 6 and 12. Gaze up towards the left hand. Keeping the legs nice and straight. And come back up the same way we went in. And step to the front of your mat. Roll the shoulders up and back. So from here we're going to go into tree pose. This is a balancing exercise, and you can go as far as you want to go today. So we can balance between our ankle and on the ground, or else we can take it up a little bit further. If you want to balance on our calf, we can go above or below the knee, wherever's comfortable. So that's step 1. Step 2, we're going to bring our hands together. And step 3, we're going to bring our branches out and try and keep our balance with our hands out wide. And come back out of it the same way we went into it. And we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So whatever way you did it on the left hand side, do the same on the right hand side. So try not to fall over. So I'm going to bring my right foot to my left calf. I'm going to bring my hands together. Once I have my balance, I'm going to bring my hands out wide. And come back out the same way we went in. And then. Okay, so next we're going to come into a pose called Utkatasana, or chair pose. So we're going to bend down, I'm going to brush our hands off the ground if possible, and we're going to come in as if we're seated on an imaginary chair. So we're going to leave our arms in our shoulder joints, and we're going to have our palms of our hands facing each other, and we're going to sit down just wherever's comfortable for you today. Gaze up between the palms. And then we're going to exhale, and then we're going to reach forward. And just let the upper body go completely loose. We're going to do it once more. Brush the hands forward. Come into that seat. So it might be higher, might be lower, wherever's comfortable for you today. And exhale, fold forward. I'm going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Next, the last thing to lift. Big inhale and big exhale. Okay, so next we're going to go into the popular yoga pose, downward dog, but we're going to do a modified version of it using a chair. So we're going to bring our hands to the back of a chair, and we're going to step backwards until our arms are a full arm's width distance apart from the chair. So we're going to try and bring ourselves into somewhat of an L position. So we're going to try and arch our spine and reach away with our hands with a small bend in our knees. So remember to keep breathing as we're in this pose. We're still getting all the benefits from a normal downward dog position, but it's just modified ever so slightly. Another big inhale. And big exhale. And release. Small steps back to the chair and come back around. So next we're going to pull the chair towards us. And from this position we're going to take a small step backwards. We're going to bring our hands onto our hips. We're going to take our right foot and bring it on top of the chair. We're going to lean forward and just get a stretch into the groin, into the left hip flexor. Get a stretch into that calf as well. And from here, we're going to take our left hand onto that right knee. We're going to reach the right hand directly out in front. And we're going to move with the breath. So on the inhale, we're going to come around as far as you can go, as comfortable. And on the exhale, come back to center. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, and exhale. Hands to hips, and back to center, and switch over. So left foot up. So just get a feel of it again. Stretch into the opposite hip flexors. Get a bit of movement going in the hips. And then we're going to come as far as so that our left knee is directly over our left ankle. We're going to take our right hand this time on top of that left knee. We're going to reach the left hand out in front, and we're going to come with the breath. We're going to inhale, open up, and exhale, back to center. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Hands back, and back to center. So we're just going to finish the class the same way we started. So we're going to take 3 big deep breaths. And we're going to bring our hands together. We're going to finish by saying namaste. So we will now go through these level 2 exercises with the help of the class. Okay guys, so today to get started we're going to walk up to the front of your mats and we're going to place our feet beside each other to get started. Nice and rooted and grounded into the earth. I'm going to roll the shoulders up and back, nice and relaxed, and have the palms just facing outwards, nice and comfortable. Arms relaxed into the shoulders, yeah? Perfect. So we're going to come back into this pose in between some of our postures, okay? So this is called mountain pose. So to get started, we're going to take 3 big breaths. We're going to take a big inhale, gaze up towards the hands, and a big exhale. Big inhale, and a big exhale. Once more, big inhale. Big exhale. And one more time, big inhale. Going to interlace our fingers this time and release our index finger. Okay, so we're going to try and keep our arms nice and straight here. And we're going to keep them either side of our ears if possible. So to get started, we're going to keep our arms straight and we're going to lean over to your right hand side. So we should be getting that stretch just as far as is comfortable for you. Should be getting that stretch down the right side body. Both arms as straight as possible. Really good. And back to center. And over to the opposite side. Really good. And back to center. Going to reach up a very small back bend, just as far as is comfortable. Gaze up towards the fingertips. And release back to center. And then we're going to release the hands. And we're just going to roll down and drop the hands. So the upper body is going to go completely weak. We're just letting the body flop forwards. Neck is completely flopped. And the arms go loose, the shoulders go loose. Small bend into the knees. From here we might fold our arms. We're going to still keeping the neck loose. And we're just going to rock a little bit side to side. A little bit left to right. And then we're going to drop the hands. And we're going to come up really slowly. The neck's going to be the last thing to lift. 1 vertebrae at a time. Very end, lift the neck, and we'll take a big inhale. And big exhale. Perfect. And come back to that standing position. Hands out wide. So I'm just going to demonstrate the Trikonasana pose that we're going to move into next. So we're going to start by dropping our right foot backwards, and it's going to come at a 45-degree angle towards the corner of the room. The left hand is going to go over the right foot, and the right arm is going to go directly behind us. As if somebody is yanking us by the hand, we're going to lean forward, and then we're going to stretch down with our hands coming to 6 and 12 on the clock, and our gaze up towards the right hand. And then back to center, okay? So let's try that, okay? So let's take a big step back with the right foot. So left foot pointing forward, right foot at a 45-degree angle. Okay, and from here we're going to lift our left hand out in front. We're going to lift our right arm out behind us directly. So with this one, there's no bend in our knees. We're going to keep them as we are. And as if somebody's pulling us by the hand, we're going to lean forward and then we're going to rotate the hands down. Left hand falling on the inside of the leg, calf, thigh. Right hand up in the sky, and our gaze comes towards our right hand. Really good. So you should be getting that deep stretch into that left hamstring. So gaze up towards the right hand. Gaze up towards the right hand and come back out of it the same way we went into it. I'm going to come back. Perfect, really good. And then we're going to come and we're going to point our toes out this way. So 2 feet facing forward, nice wide stance. So arms are going to come out either side of us. We're going to bend down, not with a hunched spine, with a nice straight spine. And we're going to hinge at the hips, leaning forward. And then we're going to drop the hands either side of the legs, so either side of the knee or the calves or the ankles, as far as they come. And we're going to try and look between the legs, or as far as is comfortable. Stick with this for another 2 breaths. It's really good. Big inhale, big exhale, and rotate back up. Maybe put the hands on the hips and come back up. So this time we're going to interlace our fingers behind our back. And we're just going to lean forward, hinging from the hips again, as far as is comfortable. And maybe lift the hands up off the back if it's comfortable. Again, gaze between our knees. Let the neck go loose. 2 more breaths. And release the hands onto the hips. And come back up, slow and controlled. So now we're going to come into Trikonasana on the opposite side. So we're going to take that right foot and point it towards the far wall. And we're going to put the left foot at a 45-degree angle. We get into this position, our right arm comes out forward and our left arm comes behind us. And as if somebody's pulling us by that right hand, we're going to lean forward. And then our hands come down to 6 and 12 on the clock. Our left hand straight in the air and our gaze is going to come up to that hand. And our right hand is going to fall on the inside of our calf, our knee or our quad, wherever's comfortable. So there are 2 breaths. 1 more. Inhale, back to center. Okay, and then we're going to drop the hands and turn and just step to the front of your mat. And roll the shoulders, hands out, and just concentrate on your breath again. Okay, so for this exercise, we're going to come to the front of the mat. We're going to bring our feet together. So we're going to roll the shoulders up and back. And we're working on our balance here, so we have 3 different options. So we're going to balance on this right foot. So the first option is to take the left foot and balance it between the ground and the ankle. The second option is to balance just below the kneecap. And the third option is to balance above the kneecap. So wherever's comfortable for you today. So step 1 is try and balance on that foot. Step 2 is to bring our hands together in heart center. And step 3, we're going to bring our hands out wide and see if we can keep our balance. Okay, so we're going to come into that tree pose on the opposite side this time. So this time we're going to be balancing on our left foot. So if you just come to the front of your mat again, and you take the balance as far as you need to go. So if you want to balance between your ankle and the floor, or if you want to go up as far as your calf, or above or below your knee. So whatever's comfortable for you. So sometimes it helps to pick a point of focus. So in yoga, that's often called your drishti. So if you just pick a point on the floor or something in the room, something that doesn't move, pick that point to focus on. It might help you keep your balance. So that's really good. So step 2, if you want to go that far, you can bring your hands together. Step 2, really good. So if you fall out, we'll just come back into it, absolutely no problem. And step 3, if you want to, you can release our hands up. Perfect, really good. So keep the hands up. Let's try and hold this. And release back down and come back to center. And drop the hands. Really good. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to come into is Yukatasana, or chair pose. So we're going to come and we're going to bend down and we're going to brush our hands forward and upwards, and we're going to come into a chair or a seated pose. So wherever is comfortable for you, so it might be up a little higher, it might be down a little lower. Find where it's comfortable for you. So arms relaxed into the shoulder joints, palms facing each other, gaze in between the palms. Keep this for 2 breaths. And we're going to exhale, we're going to fold forward and straighten the legs. So let the upper body go completely limp. And we're going to go for one more. We're going to brush our hands forward. We're going to come into that chair pose once more. One big inhale, one big exhale, and fold forward. And we're going to roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Neck is going to be the last thing to lift. Big inhale, big exhale. This next exercise is a modified downward dog, so a very popular position in yoga, okay? So we're going to walk to the chairs that we have at the front of our mat. We're going to bring our hands onto our chair, okay? And then we're going to walk backwards until we're a full arm's length distance apart. So from here, we're going to keep a small bend into our knees, feet shoulder width distance apart, and we're just going to reach down and attempt to get our ears in between our arms, bringing our body into that L shape. Getting a big stretch into our left side body, our right side body, into the hamstrings. Really try and push away with your hands. Push the bum backwards towards the wall. One more inhale. One more exhale. And slowly come up and take small steps back towards the chair. So we're going to take one medium-sized step backwards. Okay, hands stay on the hips, and we're going to take our right foot and we're going to place it on top of the chair. Okay, and we're just going to lean forward, keeping the back leg straight, so we can come in and out of that. See if we can get that stretch onto the left hip flexor. Let's go maybe a little bit forward every time. Okay, and now we're going to come forward as far as your knee is on top of your ankle. We're going to place our left hand on top of that right knee. Really good. We're going to take our right hand and reach it out in front of us. And from here, we're going to follow the right hand all the way around. Keep our gaze looking at the right hand. And we're going to come back as far as we're able to. And exhale, come back to front. And we're going to move with the breath for a couple of rounds. So we're going to inhale, open. And exhale, back to center. Inhale, open. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, open. Exhale to center. Last time, inhale, open. And exhale to center. And hands on the hips. And step down. So we're just going to go straight back into it on the opposite side. So get our balance on our right foot this time and take our left foot up on the chair. So we'll just lean into that a little bit. So getting at your right hip flexor here. And we're going to come forward so that our left knee is over our left ankle. That looks perfect. We're going to take our right hand on top of that left knee. Our left hand is going to come straight out in front. And we're going to take a big inhale and follow it round. And exhale, forward. Big inhale. Big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. And last one. Big inhale. Big exhale. And step back to the front of your mat. So we're going to finish the class the same way we started. We're going to face the front of the room. And we're going to take 3 big inhales. And big exhales. Big inhale. And big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. And we're going to bring our hands together and show each other a sign of respect by just saying namaste. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you found it beneficial. I'd like to say a huge thank you to Matt, Evelyn and Pamela for helping me out this morning. And if you have any queries, just contact the website.